Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's matchup between the Wayne Hills Patriots and the Bergen Tech Knights. So, joining me today, my name is Dan Scilleri. Joining me is Jason Leech, his first time announcing for the Wayne Hills TV club. Leech, what do you think? What do you think about today's game?
I think today's game is going to be very good between Wayne Hills and the other team. Both very good teams. That's basically it.
Wayne Hills suffering from several injuries. Jay Sawicki, their star player, suffering from an ankle injury, will not be in today's game, sitting in the bleachers, if you could see. And the Knights having a very tough season with an 0-9 record, hopefully trying to break their streak. So, for the Patriots, Mike Golub, number 3, Eric Reeser, his younger brother, Jordan Reeser. Mike Berlin, number 21 for the Patriots. Josh Weinberg will be filling in as the starting roster. Also, I'm sorry, number 20, I said number 21, Josh Weinberg, and number 11, Camel Courage. Now, for the Knights, we have a tough, tall lineup here as the official sets in, explaining the rules to the on-court players. Golub, one of the senior middlemen for the Patriots, will line up to serve. And the opening serve in the best of 3 series is off. A good high one by Golub. Quick pick around. High bump. Jordan is there. Passes to Golub, setting up Reeser. Reeser, a little light tap, and it just drops in, but a nice save. And then blocked. So Hills strikes first to an early 1-0 lead.
Brian Lake is one of the freshman players. He's on the bench right now. He should be coming in later on in the game.
So again, and a hard spike, and that sails out of bounds and extends the lead to 2-0, and Golub retreats back to serve. Serve goes up. Good clean bump. Light pass over. Casmel sets it up for Golub. Golub over to Reeser. Reeser again with the light tap, and it sails out of bounds and will be Knights' possession.
They both seem like very strong teams today. This game is going to go very well. Hopefully it will be a close game.
So the Knights serve it up. Golub sets it up. And a light tap by Golub getting it again. Again setting up for Reeser. Reeser hard hit. Sails over, touches the net, but recovered nicely by the Knights. And another hard spike by Reeser. Wayne Hills seems to be relying on Eric Reeser to fill in the big shoes of Jay Sawicki, the leading scorer for the Patriots almost for the last 2 years. Remember last year's with Ziggy Yoren, a dynamic duo as we call them, just solid, can block, can spike. Definitely a great matchup. So with the score 2-1, Reeser sets it up again, sails and off the forearms of the Knights and sails out of bounds, and the ball will go back into Wayne Hills' possession.
Eric Reeser is serving now, number 82.
Good serve, sails over the net. Oh, and a miscommunication there between senior Mike Golub and his young teammate, Camel Courage. See, both men are not happy with that as the ball bounced right in between them. The Knights set it over. Reeser's there for the quick bump.
Josh Weinberg.
Almost hitting the ceiling there. Oh, but a bad bump there by the Knights. Number 30, John Garoges. And Reeser will get the ball.
Number 21 here, Josh Weinberg. He's a very good player. I'm not that sure what grade he's in, but he's a pretty young player here at Wayne Hills.
I think he's a sophomore there, Leech. And, as we see for the Patriots, again, number 11, Camel Courage. Another head mistake there, sending the ball way out of bounds. And there seems to be a legal procedure here. And the possession will go over to the Knights as Coach Eustace for the Patriots coming out furious with his team. And Eric Reeser served twice in a row, saying that number 21, Weinberg, was the man in order to serve. So Wayne Hills will lose possession on that illegal procedure, and we'll move over to the Knights ball. Number 12 lining up to serve. That is Jonathan Jimenez. Good bump over. Dig by Weinberg, set up by Golub. And Berlin, hard spike off the fingers, almost dropping in, and it cannot be put back over the net, and will go back to Wayne Hills possession.
This is Mike Berlin's first year of playing, and he's a senior. And he just came out, decided to play, and he started off.
Like we said before, the Patriots stricken with injuries. Nick Warzel and Jay Sawicki, the two. Oh, Nick Warzel's a little shaken up, but he's still going to manage to play today. But Jay Sawicki unable to play with his ankle. So everyone's going to have to step it up today. Nice block by Warzel and Berlin, sending over, but the Knights are there to recover. Quick bump over for the third hit. Golub sets up. Nick Warzel line up and a light tap. Good save. Golub again with the offensive. And the Knights slow it down, sending it over the net. Set up by Weinberg, over to Golub. Berlin line up, decent spike. Jimenez bumps it in the air, passing around. And the third hit cannot make it over the net for the Knights. And the Patriots will score another point. Good serve there. Oh, a little tangle up with the net, but recovered very nicely by the Knights. Jimenez with a good bump, but can't get to that one as it sails right to his side, and that's another point. And the score is now 5-1 in the first of three, in the best of three challenge, game one. Right now we have Camel Kurash serving, and once sails out of bounds, Wayne Hills will rotate, setting up for the defense now as the Knights go on offense. Number 20, Meli Patel was on the serve. Reeser hard serve over and very nice. Kicks off a Knights defender and hits the ground. And now Berlin, the senior first year playing, will line up to serve. Berlin going to try and make a name for himself here in this game. Starting over due to injuries. Knights with their third hit. And it does not sail over, and a point is awarded again to the Patriots. So, Leech, have you ever played volleyball in gym? What's the three-hit rule?
You can only hit it 3 times on one side, the bump set and then the spike. Those are the 3 main hits to get it over the net. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Leech, for that tip. And another miscommunication by the Patriots there. And it sails through between 2 Patriot defenders, and another point will be awarded, and the score is 6-2 here. As number 17 for the Knights, we have Eric Malik fouls that one, sending it right into the net. And young Jordan Reeser here, the freshman starting in today's game, he will be set up to serve. Good hard spike, sends it over to Jimenez. Line up, almost out of bounds. But the out of bounds is called, and a point will be awarded as Jordan lines up for his second serve.
Like I said before, Brian Lake will be coming in too. There's 2 freshmen right now on team. There were 3. The other freshman on the team wasn't able to be in today.
Weinberg not happy with that call, saying that he crossed the midline. There's another rule in volleyball that a player may not cross the line that is designated underneath the net as the Knights serve. The score being 7-2. Reeser with a good hard bump. Over to Golub, and a hard spike, but blocked. Reeser there for the bump. Sends it over just to be safe. Cannot block that one as Berlin bumps it, sets up to Golub. Golub over to Weinberg. Weinberg trying to put a little extra spin on it, sends it into the net and straight down on his own side. And the possession will go back to the Knights. As number 30, John Groges, is serving again. Overhand spike. Bumped by Weinberg over to Golub. Weinberg, a little miscommunication there. Didn't get a good spike on that. Ooh, trying for the block. Reeser getting dangerously close to hitting the net. And the possession will go over to the Patriots.
Maybe you'll be able to explain this to me and the viewers at home. What are those white and red dotted poles on the side nets for?
Well, if you see the white and red dotted poles that are on the net are lined up with the out-of-bounds line. So if the ball sails to the opposite side of that and goes out, then it is out of bounds. So with the score 8-3 here in game 1 of the best of 3 series, rotation has gone through and Golub lines up to serve. Good light serve to bump it over. Third hit by the Knights is not good at number 17. Eric Malik is not happy with that as he spiked it straight into the net. And Golub will line up with the score being 9-3. Weinberg with a quick bump over to Camel. And Reeser just tapping it over, almost causing some trouble. A young Reeser setting over. Camel, ooh, hit hard but blocked. It still sails over and lands on the Knights for the score. Now, volleyball games in high school are played best of 3 series. Up to first person to score 15 wins, but you have to win by 2. As Garojis for the Knights there sets a light one in the middle. And older Reeser talking to his younger brother, trying to give him some helpful tips. Senior, sophomore, brother to brother. And a good bump there. Golub with the line up. Reeser, hard spike off the fingertips of the Knights, but they recover nicely. Their third hit will be sent over. Ooh, almost a little miscommunication there. Reeser again, hard spike, and good, very nice cross-court shot. Reeser definitely stepping up today without the help of Jay Sawicki. Reeser now his turn to serve. Good hard spike over. And a tough bump by number 32 for the Knights. Brian Allen couldn't get a good angle on that one, sent it out of bounds.
Eric Reeser is going to send the ball over.
Good bump by the Knights. Hard spike. No good, and it sails into our broadcast area. And we'll go over to Knights possession with the score being 11-3. The Knights trying to get a rally here, score some points and get back into this first game. High bump there. Reeser sending it over to Golub. Send up Weinberg. Weinberg hitting it. And again, 2 Knights almost collide with each other as the ball goes sailing out of bounds. And the ball will return to the Patriots.
Yeah, right now it's 11-3 Wayne Hills.
Again, joining me, Justin Leech. Jason Leech. Get that mixed up. His first announcing here. And I'm Dan Scilleri joining us right now. Wayne Hills Patriots versus the Bergen Tech Knights in this best of 3 volleyball matchup. Josh Weinberg now the young player for the Patriots sending one over. Third hit goes high and just sails out of bounds. And the point will be awarded to the Patriots. As Weinberg. Now, I can see that the Patriots have new uniforms with the gold shorts. They usually, last year, if anyone remembers watching the game, they had almost like surfer board shorts, bright colors. And
Hawaii shirts.
Oh, yeah, Hawaii shirts. Oh, and Kamal cannot bump that one cleanly as it goes in the net and goes hard down to the ground.
Weren't they wearing the maroon shorts with the maroonish and goldish flowered shirts?
Yes, they were. They had several uniforms. It was very, very beach volleyball-ish.
Great game.
So as Eustace calls in some new plays for the Patriots, and it cannot sail cleanly over the net. It will go to the Patriots' possession.
Eric Reeser went to slide to get that ball, wasn't able to quite make it.
Camel with a very aggressive spike there. Oh, and Jimenez miscommunicating with Mali Patel on that one as they both watch the ball drop right in front of them. And the score advances to 14-3. Point game here.
Kimmel hits it over.
Hard spike, but it's blocked by sophomore Nick Warzel, the big man for the Patriots without the help of Jay Sawicki. And that is the end of game 1. Patriots win 15-3. Both teams will switch sides right now, as you see here. Kind of similar to tennis. Nick Warzel giving me a little props over here as he made that great block on the last play. Both teams will go to the bench. Both teams will go to their respective benches and get a cool drink as they switch sides. Now, it's really funny. Remember last year, Wayne Hills Clifton in the playoffs, that several people also had to change sides when the teams moved during the games. which is actually a really funny sight to see. I mean, I remember Mike Rudner, who's usually my partner here, but could not make it due to he had to work today, would laugh hysterically right into the mic on air as he noticed like dozens of people switch sides. So now joining me in between games, I have Amanda Widoniak, another TV4 student, senior, also very popular with the photography, saying that her camera is like an extension of her body. Everywhere she goes, it is always in her hand. So thank you for joining us today, Amanda.
Hi,
So
Amanda.
what are your plans for when you graduate high school?
I'm planning on going to Boston University and studying communications.
Very cool. Will you be doing broadcasting, video editing, or photography?
Probably photography now, although I'm not signed up for that yet. I'm just communications right now, and I want to become a magazine editor because I'm good at it. Like TV, just awesome round student.
Very good.
How long have you been into your camera there?
How long have I been into my camera? Since I was little. It's always been by my side.
It's true. She has pictures all over her house of just random things, but the way she takes the picture and the way she perfectly fine-tunes them, that they're gorgeous and masterpieces throughout her house.
Yes, I've been kicked out of numerous volleyball games for taking pictures because you're not supposed to take a flash. But we'll just not tell them right now.
Well, that's understandable. The flash could, catch your eye a little.
It distracts the players, and I've been kicked out of like 4 volleyball games so far this year.
Well,
To the game. Yeah, Hills.
thank you for joining us, Amanda. She will go back to her photography, if you may see her in the bottom of your screen. Both teams switch sides. Coach Eustace for the Patriots giving his almost orders to the team. I mean, number 4, Brian Lake, coming into the second game here. Leech, you've been waiting for this the whole time.
Yes, I have. I'm actually in homeroom with this Brian Lake, and Brian Lake is so excited for these games. Every morning when there's a game, he comes in and he's like, I can't wait until today is over so I could go and rush to my game. Overall, he's a great player. He wouldn't make varsity as a freshman if he wasn't good, you know?
Definitely an upcoming prospect here for the Hills team. As you just saw, Eric Reeser with a hard spike scoring the first possession is Jordan Reeser trying to make something happen, but sends it over to the stat box. Golub trying to make a great play, but just couldn't get his forearms on it. And the possession will change once again over to the Bergen Tech Knights. Number 32 for the Knights, Brian Allen, setting up serve. Overhand serve, sends one over. Set up. Golub wasn't ready for that one, just a little too fast for him, and it sails out of bounds. And Bergen Tech strikes first as Allen lines up for his second serve. Good hit. Golub setting it up for Weinberg. Weinberg can't get on it. Tried to bounce it off the net, but no good. It drops down, and another point is awarded.
Bounced off the bottom of the net there. The Bergen Tech Knights are over here chanting and screaming and having a good time.
Well, if you remember about last year, both teams, Hills and whoever they played, were very loud airs. That ball just bounced off the ceiling, and two Knights just tried to slide and get it, but no good. It went out of bounds. Possession will go over to Hills. Hills trying to answer back from these 2 early points scored. Good serve. Hit up by Allen. Set over. Hard spike, but Weinberg not ready for it. Sends it into his bench, and the possession will go back over to the Knights.
Dan, do you go to a lot of volleyball games? Do you know a lot upon the game?
I try and go to as many volleyball games. I mean, I was voted by my senior class as most school-spirited. I try and go to every sporting event, softball, baseball, volleyball, field hockey, lacrosse. I mean, I try and go to everything. If I'm not playing, I'm usually there cheering.
Yeah, you definitely are, because whenever there's a game and you're out up in those stands, we hear you cheering on the mics, and you're like, go where? Yeah.
Well, when I was a junior, my cousin Jeff Bosdicato got most school-spirited, and me and him were the 2 loudest. We used to say that we were louder than an entire squad of cheerleaders. So, I had to live up the legacy when he went to college, and hopefully I could pass it down. I had to pass it down to someone when I go to college. I'll be going to Fordham University next year, as Leech just mouthed me the question. And a light tap there, but Berlin was ready for it, but sends it way out of bounds. Possession will switch over to the Knights.
What are you going to college for?
Like Amanda, I'm going to Fordham University for communications, hopefully like video editing and broadcasting. As that one, as you see, sails way over by number 20, Mali Patel. Also, I've been recruited to play football for the Rams.
So you and Amanda will be hanging out a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Boston's a little, quite a distance away, but, me and her are real good friends. Hopefully I can get up as much as I can to see her.
Yeah, Boston is a pretty big city.
And Nick Warzel there couldn't get the clean couldn't get the clean block on that one. And possession will change here as it seems the Knights are starting to pick up their game here. As number 17, Eric Malik, sends one hard over. And a light tap there by Gorgeous. Again, a light tap. Warzel just getting a hand on it. As good set there by Lake over to Golub. Send up Reeser. Reeser hard spike, but is blocked by Jimenez. Warzel's there for... And Warzel using his long reach to just get that one over. See, Gorgeous hits it to Golub. Golub to Weinberg. Weinberg to Reeser. Hard spike, but is dug out nicely. And Warzel with an illegal hit there and dead ball foul. And the Knights will have the ball again as the score is 3-1, Bergen Tech. Malik with his third serve in a row to Weinberg. And an illegal procedure, couldn't really see it. It was blocked by the official stand there.
1-3, Bergen Tech.
And
1-4, I'm sorry.
The score is now 5-1 as Wayne Hills opened up thinking that ball was going out, but it must have just hit the line there as the official signaled. Malik will continue to serve. Weinberg with a good bump in the middle. Setting up to Warzel. Warzel, light spike over. Setting up again. Golub, like I said, the middleman is the big setup guy. As number 16 for the Knights, Alan Abel could not block Eric Reeser's hard spike. Bounces off the net and drops on the Knights' territory. So young Jordan Reeser now will try serving. Sends one over to Jimenez. And Goro just hits one over, but Berlin is there. Setting up Golub. Golub again setting up Reeser. Reeser with another hard spike that is blocked, and the point will go to the Patriots. Reeser seems to be the go-to guy today, don't you think so?
Eric Reeser is very tall, so that gives him a very good advantage for him to get up upon the top of the nets and to bring down the ball for a nice spike. And he has a very powerful hit. Overall, he's a great player for Wayne Hills.
And a great play by there by young Josh Weinberg. Golub set him up nicely, and he jumped as the Knight defenders jumped up to block a hard spike. He just tapped it over their fingertips, and it dropped in right behind him. That was the deciding factor in last year's Wayne Hills versus Clifton playoff game. Clifton just shredded Wayne Hills with those light taps that they weren't ready for. As Reeser with a hard spike bounces off 3 defenders and goes out of bounds.
Score 4-5.
And the score is now 5-4, as my colleague just noted there. Young Reeser again serving over. Jimenez going to send the third hit over, but it does not get a good hit, and it sails under the net. And the score is now 5-up.
You play football, and so how's that going for you? You're playing for college. Are you excited to go for there?
I'm very excited to play there as Jimenez just bumps that one. And Garot just trying for the spike, and it sails out of bounds. I'm very excited to play college football. I mean, it's a huge, huge step. I mean, besides Greg Olson, I'm playing at the highest level of football. And as Jimenez checks out there, as you can see. But, I'm doing track right now, working on my speed, getting put on weight, as much as I can. And that ball sails out of bounds. The possession will go over again to the Patriots. So definitely looking forward. I'm going to come back here as much as I can to help out with the TV crew when I leave. So now Golub now sending it over. And Reeser almost getting a block. And a light tap there by Josh. And he sails it just a little bit over the net. And it drops in for another point. And scores 6-5.
Good for Josh. He's a really good player, and he's got a nice strong hit behind him, too. He could spike those things over the net, too.
But look at the power of Eric Reeser. Eric Reeser showing his strength on there with that great spike slicing through the defense of the Knights here. You know, Jay Sawicki, everyone talks about him, but, you know, volleyball is a very team-oriented sport. You need players like Mike Golub, who we'll be trying to get an interview with after the game, who's the middleman and tries to set it, set up these hard hitters. Eric Reeser stepping it up today, trying to boost his team up to 7-2 with a record. As Golub sends one over. Golub now with the light bump, setting up Lake. Lake, good spike, but no good. Lake trying up again, but blocks it. The Knights recover anyway. Lake again with the try.
There you go for
just
Brian
in.
Lake. Wow, great freshman player. I'm sure he'll be playing all 4 years, so you're just seeing him at his prime right now. You're going to see him get a lot better over the 4 years.
Being only a freshman, he's got nowhere to go but up. He can get better, as the two Knights almost collide on that one. Lining up for the block, and it lands just on the Hills side. Possession will remain with the Knights. As number 16 for the Knights is lining up. I believe number 16 is Alan Abel again. Reeser cannot dig that one out. Calling over to Josh Weinberg, saying that that's his. Again, without like the usual players here, the starters are having a hard time communicating with the new guys. So Weinberg bumps it up, sets up for Lake. Lake, good spike. Oh, and a miscommunication between Gorogis and number 17, Eric Malik, as they both try and bump it and send it in between each other backwards. The possession will go back over to the hill side. And a good bump there by the Knights. Light tap over, Weinberg's there. Reeser bumping over for send up Berlin. Berlin lofts it up for Gorogis. Gorogis now. Good bump. Weinberg again with the bump over to Reeser. Reeser sending up Lake. Lake hard hit, and it sails out of bounds. And again goes into our cable box, but Mr. Hoogstraight, our TV director, making a glove save on that one, saving some equipment on that one. Great play. Wish you could have seen it.
Funny kid, Dan. Funny
number
kid.
32, Brian Allen, was the last one on that. And Lake sends one high, but Gorogis is there to block it. Good line up. Light tap, almost a collision there between the Patriots. And the two brothers run into each other.
Fall on the ground.
Both Reesers trying to get to the ball, but could not get it, knocking each other away from it, actually. And the score is now 9-7.
32 serves it up.
Brian Allen, a very good server here for the Knights, as Weinberg lightly double hands one over. Good bump by number 17. Little Reeser hits it up to Golub. Golub setting up Weinberg. Weinberg is stuffed by 3 Knight defenders. And Eric Reeser now will slow it down, setting up Lake. Lake, good hard hit, but Gorogis, the back man for the Knights, is doing very nice back there, trying to stop everything, as Reeser making a big one-handed stop. And Berlin with a hard spike, just getting over the net. And the Knights will slow it down here, lining up for another spike.
They're passing this ball back and forth, and it's been a very quick scoring point game lately. But this is like the longest they had the ball in the air so far.
That's correct. This is the longest volley. You see Gorogis there with another bump, lining up again, 3, and a light tap, but Weinberg's there. Golub setting it up, sends one over into the corner. No one there. Gorogis could not get to it. Very nice placement there by Mike Golub. The double hand loft into the back corner, and the possession will go over to the hillside.
And it is 9-7, Wayne Hills.
Good spike there by Weinberg, but it just sails out of bounds as Gorogis lets that one go. Those of you just joining, this is Wayne Hills Patriots versus the Bergen Tech Knights. Game 2 of the best-of-3 series at Patriots Gymnasium. As Jimenez sends one over, Reeser's there for the bump. Golub setting up Warzel. Warzel hard spike, but is blocked again by 3 defenders. As 3 defenders lining up again for the block. Berlin lofts one over. Jimenez now being the back man with the rotation. Oh, and Reeser, Wayne Hill's back player, could not get to that one as it sails. And the score is now 9-8. Jimenez now to serve. High pitch, and there it goes. Golub to Lake. Lake, lining up for a really hard spike, but sent it straight into the net right in front of him.
Lake brought that in the middle of the neck, just like you said, right in front of him.
Now, as you can see, a very rookie error there, being his first year playing volleyball, but definitely he'll just tune his skills a little. I mean, should become a great player, as Nick Warzel sends that one very hard out of bounds. And now, Bergen Tech has gained the lead again for the second time in this game, as Jimenez lines one over, and Warzel and Reeser looking that one as it sails out of bounds. Reeser almost going for it, but decides not to. Good call as Lake lines up to serve.
Score is 9-10, Bergen Catholic?
Bergen Tech.
Bergen Tech.
It's all right. Everyone makes mistakes. First time, Jason Leech. Jimenez hard bump over. Eric Reeves, the back man there, ready. Golub setting it up. Light tap, not ready for it. Or not ready for it was the Knights. Usually Golub sets up someone else for a hard spike, but instead he sent that one over himself and it sailed in. Just past the defense of the Knights as Lake sends up for his second. Just barely clearing the net. And
10-10, it's a tie.
And the hard spiker for the Knights, number 17, Eric Malik, man in the corner. Hard spike there and gets the possession back for the Knights as you hear the Knights cheering BT for Bergen Tech. Good overhand serve, but very dangerous, very hard to do. And as you see, it fouls and goes straight into the net. Back over to the Patriots side. Now that overhand spike, very hard to master, but once you do, it's very dangerous because it puts so much top spin and speed onto the ball. It's very hard to defend. As Garoja sends one over, and Berlin is not ready for it. He's making a diving attempt, and the point will go to the Knights as they regain possession in this 10-10 game. Malik now for the serve. Sends one over. Just getting over the net. Weinberg recovers. Sent up Nick Warzel. Nick Warzel using a little bit too much power as we saw before he sent one out. That's the third one I believe he sent out of bounds. As Malik lines up. And again, the Knights have taken a lead 11-10, the third time in this game too. Best of 3 series. Golub again trying to lose a little diversion. Jimenez makes a diving stop. Weinberg there. Over to Golub. Golub to Reeser. Reeser hard spike.
Blocked.
And he's blocked, but not enough as it drops onto the Knights side. And the official blows the whistle, and I believe a substitution is coming in. Jordan Reeser coming in for Nick Warzel. As Nick Warzel will take a break on the side. Reeser now sends one over. Jimenez digs it out. Malik one-hands it over to Berlin. Berlin to Golub. Golub over to Reeser. And again, another hard hit.
Nice.
Skips off the net and lands good. And the score is now tied again, 11-11.
Ball came back over to us.
Once again, it's a dangerous thing, broadcasting sports here at Wayne Hills.
Put our lives in hand.
Jimenez digs that one out and just taps it over. Weinberg is ready for it. Setting up for the spike is Garojas. Light tap. Reeser over to his brother. Hard spike there. Dug out nicely by Lake. Golub over to the older Reeser. Hard spike again. And number 20, Mali Patel, cannot stop the speed on that one. Just throwing his hands up to defend himself and drops down. Remnants of what Ziggy Gorin used to do. He put so much power into it that most teams would just, get out of the way of his spikes. Jimenez digs that one out. Oh, and Garojas just gets that one over. A little miscommunication there. Reeser again lines up hard spike and again skips off the fingertips and off the arm of Malik and drops in. And the Patriots are now have a 13-11 lead, 2 points away from clinching this game as Jordan Knight sends one over. And an ace, Malik could not get a hold of that one cleanly, and it sails out of bounds. The score is now 14-11. His game point again. Now, if Wayne Hills score this point before the Knights can win this game, that will end the best of 3 series, and can be one of the fastest games here at Wayne Hills Gymnasium. As a timeout was called, and both coaches talking to their respective team. Coach Eustace, I was talking to him before the game, is very unhappy about the amount of injuries, and also there was one of his players were suspended today. Very, very unhappy with that. Very, very concerned, about today's game, wanting his best players, and don't want to risk anything, no matter how the team is. And Bergen Tech got a word with the coach before. He's having a tough start here. Lost some good players last year. trying to bounce back and having a very tough opening season. As Garojus, I'm taking, is the captain here for the Knights, trying to motivate his team, not allowing any more points because Wayne Hills only needs one more to win this game. Jordan Reeser sends one over to Jimenez. Jimenez, good bump. Lines up for Malik. Malik lofts one over, but Berlin is ready. Over to Golb. Golb to Weinberg. Sends over, and it sails out of bounds. And the possession will go over the Knights, who are trying to make something happen here and get back into this game before Wayne Hills has a chance to win. As Garojus hits it over and it sails out of bounds, the possession will go back to the Patriots, and now the defense for the Knights will have to step it up once again. Serving now Mike Golub, senior captain. Good bump by Garojus for the Knights. Hard hit, and it. Oh, and the points will go over to the Bergen field as Garojus trying to fire up his team here. Score some points, get back in this game as number 16, Alan Abel. Reeser with a light tap. Reeser must have crossed the midline there as the official calls the whistle. And the score is now 14-12. Like we said before, the teams have to win by 2 here, so if they can get to 14, Wayne Hills will have to get to 16 points to win. Abel, nice hit there, signing up spike. And little Reeser, another rookie error here done by the Patriots. And you see Coach Eustace is not happy with that, having to put in the younger guys due to injuries. And he'll call a timeout. Not happy with that as he allows another point. The score is now 14-13. As the Knights seem to be firing up here, trying to get back into this game and send it into Game 3 of the best of 3 series.
Yeah, they're very excited.
And in attendance today, Mr. Hookstraight's wife and newborn son, Jake, will, they won't be able to make it on camera, but everyone knows they're here. So we'll give them a salute. And as both teams are now about to break the huddle as time runs down on the timeout, Coach Eustace trying to give his team the final words
18.
before... Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
There was 18 seconds left for the little timeout there. That's what I was going to refer on to.
The Knights sending over a hard spike. But Reeser showing his own spike of his own, but the Knights are there to recover. Hard bump, it sails in. Found a gap in Lake, looking like he should have been there on that one as Golub gives him an upset look on his face. And the score is now 14-14. So now it's down to the wire as the first team to break away by 2 will win this second game of the best of 3 series. Golub lofts one to Weinberg. Weinberg just taps it over. The Knights line up for a hard spike. And again, young Reeser doesn't get a good hand on that one and sends it out of bounds. And for the 4th time in today's game, the Knights have taken the lead and are at point game. Knights send that one over. Reeser there for the bump to Golub. Over to Weinberg, light bounce, and it drops in. Very nice. And it will be Patriots possession here as Eric Reeser, another senior, serving, trying to get his team back in the lead as it just sails over the net. Garojus, great dig there. Hard spike, and it goes into the net, and the game is tied at 15.
15-15, tie game.
Tie game is right, and as we're coming down to the wire, Reeser sends one over, and it lands in for an ace. Malik thought that one was going to sail far, but ducking his head, and the ball just drops in before the end line, and timeout was called by the Knights. The coach trying to give some last-minute tips to his team as Coach Eustace is planning an offense here, trying to score that 17th point, which will put the Patriots in the win, winning by 2, clinching Game 2 of the best of 3 series, and finishing this game today. So as Hills breaks their huddle, Eric Reeser, along with his younger brother, will lining up in the back of the court. Reeser with a hard hit over. Garojus, nice bump. And a light tap. Not ready for that. Gall lines up for Weinberg. Weinberg over to Reeser. Reeser has no choice but to just tap it over. And the Knights will have to slow it down a little. Hard spike. Sails out of bounds. And that is the game. In the best of 3 series, Wayne Hills wins it 17-15. And that is it, as both teams will line up underneath the net to shake hands. And we are going to try now get an interview with one of the players. We're looking, I believe, Mike Golub. Mike Golub will be joining us in a few minutes after he has his word with his coach. A great game played here. The Patriots, coming off some hard injuries, and Coach Eustace not very happy with that. Putting in some younger players. But the result is still all the same, as the Knights move to 0-10 and the Patriots move to 7-2. Coming over now, we have senior Mike Golub. Started both games here. He's making his way across the court. Thank you for joining us, Mike.
How you doing?
Coming into this game, what were your thoughts, with the injuries and everything and having to put in younger players?
Well, I knew it'd be a tough game. Bergen always plays scrappy, so we'd have to play to our best, and we made a lot of mistakes, and that's why it was closer than it should have been. Yeah, as we noticed, some of the younger players made some tough errors there, but all in all, led by you and other senior Eric Reeser, you guys held your own in there. What was Coach Eustace saying in between the first and second game? He just told us to play smart. A lot of the mistakes are going to happen with the younger guys. It's part of the learning process, so we were just happy to get through this game and keep on our progression.
Now, with the season progressing on, tough rivalries ahead, what's the outlook for the rest of the season?
We should be competitive. We'll make it into the States, and hopefully we'll make some noise in the state tournament.
Okay, thank you for joining us. We'll now go over to Jason Leech, who has other senior Eric Reeser. Thank you for joining us, Mike. Over to you, Jason.
Hello, Eric Reeser. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Jason.
How is it playing on the same team as your younger brother?
It's pretty interesting, actually. We actually fight less on the court than we do at home, but it's a good thing when brothers can play together.
That's really cool. What was your main thing upon this game that you were achieving to get to your goals?
Well, first of all, we wanted the win because we were missing 3 players, actually 4 players today. And we had to play good defense, and we were all playing out of rotation, so it was a little difficult for us, but I think we played all right.
That's really cool. Thank you, Eric Reeser. Thank you all. This is Jason Leech, Mike Grudner, signing off. Bye.